I was getting tens of millions of views. We made in December, that was our first 6-figure month. And I worked with Hamza too.
YouTube is king.
The one thing, I started doing this consistently, my videos do better.
How does Harut come up with his $1 million videos?
This process, I'm telling every single person watching this, if you implement this, you will be so much far ahead than your competition. No one is doing it.
And when I did that, that's when I started to see the takeoff. Harut, welcome. You're 22 years of age. You've netted over $1 million. I've got some of the stuff you've done here. It's crazy. Over 1 billion views. You've done, I think, which is also really cool, 0 to 50K a couple of times, and then 0 to 10K in 30 days. I think that's all code for, it's not luck. So, dude, you and I met each other at the Skool Games. We've spoken quite a lot. We're friends. And, dude, I'm stoked getting the podcast to kind of pick your brains about low ticket, high ticket. How do you make that first 5K, 10K, 20K? We're going to dive into, dude. We're going to have a great time, dude. Anything else you want to add in from your background before we jump in and kind of shoot the breeze?
No, it was good introduction. I appreciate it, Jack, and very, very excited to start the conversation.
Save that. Yeah, save that. So people don't know, we were on a call recently with Hormozi where he completely like roasted my business, my YouTube. And it's interesting because your background's on YouTube, bro. So like just before this podcast, I was just recording a video and I was like implementing all of Alex's like frameworks to it. Dude, how did you find that conversation? I'll put a link on the page somewhere. I think it'll be coming out after this podcast, I think, or maybe before. But dude, what did you think of that roast from a YouTube perspective?
No, it was amazing, man. I love it. Like, funnily enough, I had recently a call with Hormozi as well because we won, for people watching, this thing called the 100, which was a competition where they picked 100 people from like thousands of applications. And then it was a competition who will grow their Skool community the fastest, right?
Yes.
And we were in one of the top 10 winners, which generated about 210,000, I think, in 90 days. And the prize for that was like a group call with Hormozi where we were a small part of that. So we even have a video about that too, which is pretty funny. So yeah, like it was very good. Like when I watched your thing, it was what I liked a lot from Hormozi and how he thinks. He thinks from the perspective of the person watching your avatar, your clients, your prospects, your audience, right? And that's what I liked the most about it because he gave you feedback on your Skool community, on your YouTube channel, on the thumbnails, titles, the strategy. But everywhere, what he was doing, he was just saying, hey, like if I was this person, if I was the avatar, when I'm reading this, right? I don't perceive it well, or maybe you can do it this way, or I like this part, I don't like this part. For example, he said something like when he was looking at your Skool page, you had there that, hey, you get lifetime access at level 9 in your community, right? And he said, hey, someone hasn't even joined your community yet, right? So that page should just sell them, and inside with the onboarding and stuff, so like tiny
Little
details like
details.
this, that you can tell that he just thinks from the perspective of the person, and it's such a powerful skill for YouTube because you need to think from the perspective of the audience, right? For Skool, for high ticket, everything. Yeah,
That's
So
a
it was
genius.
good.
I think it's like people like what really impressed me about Hormozi was the fact that when he started like riffing what the copy should look like, you could tell he's done his 10,000 hours.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in this book called Don't Make Me Think, which is about the idea that you should effortlessly glide through a sales process without having to engage your thinking brain. And I actually think you've hit the nail on the head there. Like he's really thinking, look, I'm trying to buy. I know for a fact that there's several objections that I'm going to have. I just need those addressed. The level 9 membership thing gets me to stay. All the cool things and bells and whistles can stay, but it doesn't get me to buy. I agree. I thought that was so flipping romantic. And it's like, I think that's like one of the big things about whether you're doing a SaaS, AI SaaS, a business, a Skool community, whatever, like you can never get away from that core, like thinking about it from the perspective of like start with the customers almost become a cliche, but I think it's so fresh and interesting. It's like you'll never find something more interesting than another human being and how they think.
Right. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that was probably the biggest lesson that when I was watching that call, I think live even. Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I loved it. So it was good.
So dude, let's kick off with YouTube. Okay, so like what's your like share like what success you've had on YouTube, and then let's go through like what's like the matter. How do people like if someone wants to create a YouTube channel? Because we're going to touch on so many different areas here, but like let's begin with YouTube. What have you done, and like what's like the current matter? How should people be making YouTube channels? Route? What's the deal with that? What's the 411, man?
Yes, amazing question. So I will start with a very short backstory, if that's fine, to give people some context
That can be great.
about like my experience with YouTube. So I'm now 22, right? I've been watching YouTube videos, I don't know, for 10 years, right? Which is almost half of my life. So I always had the idea of starting one, but I never had the courage, right, to be out there, to be on camera. therefore I started with faceless channels, which was years ago. That's why I have like this play
black-
button and stuff.
yeah.
This is not for a personal brand channel, unfortunately, because we will get into it. In my opinion, personal brands are usually more powerful, right? Depending, of course, on the person. But anyway, so I had some success with that. Like I made my first few $100,000 of profit with that. Changed my life. I think the most we made was like 24K. It was September, 3 years ago, of profit from a faceless YouTube channel. And after that, we grew a few others. I sold some channels. A couple of them got deleted because of copyright. A couple of them I wasn't excited to grow anymore because I kind of hit my money goal. So then there was no purpose after that, which is interesting too. But anyway, long story short, just like 2024, last year already, crazy how fast time flies, I decided to start my personal brand YouTube channel, which has a completely different strategy. So for example, my personal brand channel has just like 6,000 subscribers, right? And some videos sometimes like outlier video can get 10,000 views or 15,000 views, but usually video can get just 300, 500, 700 or 1,000 views. But sometimes I make more money from that than from the channels that I had where I was getting millions of views, right? Why? Because of who is watching me. So with the personal brand channel, I have like 7-8 figure entrepreneurs literally that I know personally that message me say, hey, I watched this video, that watch the videos, and therefore you can sell something like high ticket, something, you know, more expensive, and that's how you can make money. So basically, long story short, my experience is I was doing it in a way, getting as many views as possible and making money from AdSense. And in this past year, I shifted towards just building a personal brand where, of course, I want to get more views and I will work on that. But the main thing is to attract the right people so you can actually monetize outside of YouTube, using YouTube as a traffic source. So these two ways are completely different ways to grow on YouTube, in my opinion. So we can dive deep into
Because I think so. So when you made the 20K, was that AdSense on your face?
Yes, 24K in a month. It was AdSense. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I got like probably it was a niche where it had very low RPM, which is for people watching revenue per mile, how much you actually get paid per 1,000 views, right? Which is usually half of the CPM. The RPM was very low, but like I was getting tens of millions of views, right? And it was again years ago, but that's how we made 24K. It was the best month though, not every month. Yeah.
But that was like the highlight. That must have felt. How did that feel?
Very good, but on the other hand, this might be unexpected, but depressing.
Tell me about that.
Right. So it was September, I remember, and I quit university already. I think at that point I quit like after the second year. I think I quit at that point, or maybe I don't remember honestly. But I had a lot of free time for some reason, so probably I quit. So I made like 24K, and not only I made 24K, Jack, but I remember I didn't do anything that month, and I would say that some luck was involved with that channel, right? Because, and again, by like I was working 16 hours a day. Like it was a niche where I was posting 10 videos a day. Like I was crazy. It's been months, but still, you know, I saw a trend. There is some like involved too. So a bunch of videos from the previous month started going viral, and I kind of didn't do anything that month, or almost. I was watching YouTube videos myself, right? And my YouTube channel was making like 20K. And the reason I felt so bad is because I didn't have drive to make more, because that money was already life-changing, and I'm very ambitious, extremely. Like every now and then I think, oh, maybe I can become a billionaire, right? Which it's gonna be hard, and it's not my main. But like that's how like I'm thinking. I'm not saying, but when I made that money, like that month, I felt, oh, like damn, I don't want to grow this. Like okay, like I don't want to now go and work another 16 hours a day, so it becomes 40K a month. Like what's the point? I already helped my parents. I can already travel. I can already pay some debts, right? Of people, of my loved ones. Like I'm not materialistic as much myself. Like I don't care. So like, what am I gonna do? Like okay, this, sorry for my language, but these stupid YouTube videos like went viral and I made money. But like, who does it help? And maybe it was a like privileged position because I already made the money. Because before that I would do anything to make that first, right? So I was maybe used to already like 10K month or so, which isn't much, right? Like especially nowadays. But yeah, I don't know, it was very depressing because you made the money, but then you realized, I don't want to work hard for this, you know? So it was worth it because again, you can use the money. And my lesson from that wasn't that you shouldn't make money. And I'm still like running businesses right now. My lesson was that, in my opinion, at least for me, you should make money, but in a way that fulfills you.
That is really beautifully said. And I think like one of the interesting things that happened with Skool Games, and bear in mind guys, like for everyone watching, like people who win the Skool Games, they usually make like 40, 50, 6K a month. And I think if you've not hit that, like the perception is that would solve every single problem that would ever exist. And the cool thing is there are things you can do that makes that really likely for you to hit, which is why like it's amazing for you to come on this podcast for it and we can share like experiences to help you get there. But it's like doing the thing that's fulfilling means that you'll be doing it forever. You can't beat somebody who actually friggin' loves what they do. And everyone says, I don't think you have to love what you do. Well, yeah, you can go mine coal, right, if you want to, or like go and kidnap, whatever you want to do to make money. But like, if you want to enjoy life and like crush it, I think like you're so right doing something that you're really passionate about. And I appreciate you being candid about that because they have this thing after the school. They call it like the school game blues, don't they? I think where they win and then the next day they're like, kind of like feeling really like crap or something. Like maybe they pushed
School
you
Games
on
depression.
the Skool Games depression. You get that? Yeah, trademark that. So I thought that was interesting. And let's go into the brand side because I think that's fascinating. And that's kind of an evolution I went on when I was at the beginning of my YouTube video journey. I had a video that went viral, and I say viral, it did like over 400,000 views. And I was like, wow, like I checked it went 30K, 50K, and like the adrenaline pump is insane. And that was almost like the worst thing that could have happened to me on my channel because I got kind of audience captured to make that type of video. Where I was like, I have to keep on, I've got all these subscribers now, had like 10,000 subscribers like in like a month. And I was like, I have to keep giving them the content they want. But I wasn't mature enough on the platform to know what I wanted to do. I didn't get to have, and it sounds like the world's smallest violin, but the downside of it was I didn't get to explore with different content types. So I kind of meandered in the wilderness for like a few months, like trying out different content styles, learning more editing until I found the stuff that I was really passionate about. But the biggest, my learning, and I want to hear your thoughts on this, is like, I agree that personal brand is like, it's an asset that will follow you around like forever and not worshipping the view God because not all views are made equal. They're definitely not made equal. You could have 400 people that are highly qualified prospects that are way more important and valuable to you than a video that does 400,000. What's your take on that, bro? Are you on the same page? How do you sort of hold that?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I think, so first of all, to people that already have faceless channels or like anything that works and you guys make money and you like it, like screw it, like just keep growing it, right? Like don't listen to, hey, you don't have to absolutely get more views, make money, change your life. The money is a wonderful tool that can, if used well, can give you freedom, can give you security, can give you peace of mind, and a lot of things if you make enough of it, right? Which you will if you are watching a video with Jack and Harut, right? I don't know why you clicked on this video in the first place.
I'm glad you're here.
But yeah, whoever is watching this is a weird in a good way, right? In a good way, and I really mean it. So, but anyway, so if it works for you, awesome, keep doing it. Now, with that caveat, for me personally, I kind of have been where I'm getting just views for the sake of it and I didn't make money as we talked about, like that month of September where I made the money. So I just knew it's not an option for me. So therefore I said, okay, what fulfills me? And it's usually working with people. Like I love coaching, I help people. Although I'm an introvert, but like for some reason I do like that. And my two grandmothers were teachers. My father was a firefighter for his whole life, and then he retired and became a professor in the university. Pretty weird change in career. So it's kind of in me to teach, to help, etc. So when I understood that, I said, okay, cool. So like I'm gonna do this, right? Well, now I can't go and become right now who is there out there from the best speakers in the world, Tony Robbins, right? Probably I won't go and become Tony Robbins right now. So you should you kind of have to start niche, right? At least in my case. So it's not that we start niche or we attract low people because the low quality of people, not quality, sorry, quantity, like low amounts of people, if you can say it that way. But it's just that it's very hard to go after people that I can help, that is fulfilling, and get millions of views. Like you need to be, again, Tony Robbins, and even he's not getting that consistently. Some videos get less. So I think I don't necessarily agree, and I sometimes say it, so it might be the wrong perception for people, that getting low views is a high achievement. It's not, right? But you should just focus that you get the right types of viewers and then try to get as many of them as possible. It's just that it happens for my niche specifically. There are not 1 million entrepreneurs that watch YouTube videos that are at the level I want them to be, that resonate with me, will click on my videos, watch me. Like there's not as many of them. Even Hormozi isn't getting that much, right? On his business videos. So there's just a natural constraint there where like kind of 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 is more reasonable. Now, the more I keep improving, I can get to 10, I can get to 20. In the long term, Hormozi is getting 100K, 200K, some business videos 500K. You can get there, right? But it's gonna take time. So I would say my belief is, I wouldn't think about that much if I was someone watching this. I would say, what problem are you trying to solve, right? What people are you trying to attract, and try to attract as many of them as possible. But what you are saying, Jack, which is interesting, which I agree with, is that a lot of people have the conception that they need a lot of people to make money. No, to start making money, you can do that with not a lot of people. And I will share like one number, again, not to brag, right? But we made in December, that was our first 6-figure month that we had, right? So over 100,000 in the month of December. Awesome, thank you so much. And by the way, I had that goal for a long time, and I got there. And also, just telling this to people is not that like you next day you wake up 10 times happier, right? It doesn't happen like that. I know you know it from your experience. Again, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't grow or make money, but do something that fulfills you. Because I also didn't get depressed though. Because I got to 100K, I didn't expect it to change something. I said, oh, like, I love what I do. I would do this for free. So now I keep going. But anyway, so we had that much fun, right? We have less, like, right, we just hit 1,000 members in our free community of Skool. I have 6,000 subscribers on my personal brand YouTube channel. Yes, we had millions of faceless channels. We don't get clients from that. I don't even have that channels anymore, right? Most of the, like, we made that 100K probably from 25, 30 people. Right? Now, again, it took probably thousands, so that 25 or 30 buy from us. So it's not that you will have 20 subscribers and you will make 100K. But you can have few thousand people following you and you can make money. There's one good example of this. There's a guy, the guy called Dan Bolton. He's very good. I like him. I watch sometimes his YouTube videos. And like he made $10 million online, and he has 10,000 subscribers across all the social media platforms.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a pretty high. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's because like he has again very sophisticated avatar, like it's business owners, etc. So like if you help, if you are in the fitness niche, right, or if you're in any other niche, there might be more people, but you don't. Basically, what I agree with you, Jack, is that you don't have to have a lot, which doesn't mean that you should settle for less, if it makes sense. Because I see this so many times. People kind of use the excuse that they don't need much to not improve. Right? And I'm guilty of it sometimes too. Like I can say, hey, my video got 1,000 views because there's not many people. Yes, that's true. And I just know that from these 1,000 people, like I know someone, like they make 1.3 million a month, right? I was talking to them today, my age, crazy, right? I respect him a lot. And he was saying, hey, I heard I watched that video too. So like these are very high level people that are watching these videos. But it still shouldn't be an excuse for me to not to try to get 10,000 with that, right? So this is the mindset. Like you don't have to have a lot, but doesn't mean that you should aim for a little, right? It doesn't make sense. Just keep improving, and long term, you want to have as big of an audience with as much qualified people, if you can call it that way, whatever that means to each of you guys watching, an audience, right? And if you do that, you don't need to have a lot of subscribers to make money, but doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to.
I agree, and it's like, cause I think the key takeaway I have from that is that not all views are made equal. I know there's some YouTube channels, or maybe Instagram's your thing, LinkedIn's your thing, where and it's so easy to get caught up in these vanity metrics with these dopamine boosts of yes, I gained another 10,000, 100 to 1 million views in this thing, but it doesn't. But not all views are made equal. So it's like that, like really changes your perspective. In fact, there are many million subscriber YouTube channels that if they disappeared tomorrow, you wouldn't even notice. The way I sort of hold it is like you got to.
This channel
your
was
channel
like that.
Yeah, did that happen?
you don't even know what it is, so like I am a proof of that. Yeah,
that is absolutely hilarious. It's like it's a big impact for a small number of people, right? So let's talk about personal brand, because like faceless YouTube videos, you can make, it's like my point of view on it is this, like you can make money in so many different ways, but there are just some ways that are a lot easier and better. Like the faceless YouTube thing feels like you need to pivot quite regularly. I feel like one of the most underappreciated assets, and interestingly, Iman Gadzi did a video on this that we got mentioned in, which is really cool. We even had sign-ups to the community from that, which is really interesting. When we got, and yeah, because you DM'd me the next day, said, dude, you've just been featured in this video. He talks about brand. I cannot, like, regardless of like if what you do changes, that follows you forever. So what was your logic in creating the Harut YouTube channel? And are you just on YouTube at the moment, different platforms? How are you thinking about branding, man?
Amazing question. Thank you for asking. So first of all, on the to quickly comment on what you said, which I agree with, which is it's about not every view is equal, right? Like I don't know who said it, Hamza, I think, and I work with Hamza too, which is pretty good.
That's cool.
So bragging a little bit, but Hamza said. Views ain't cash, right? I think he took it from someone else from Twitter, but it's such a true, saying. Views ain't cash, right? Views aren't equal to money, and he knows it from his experience because there's like 2 million subscribers, and sometimes like a video that gets 10 times more views can get him less sales of his community than a video that gets less but is more focused. Now, one more example of that I just want to share as a belief-breaking thing, and we can tie that to personal branding. One of the clients that we have who also has a very strong personal brand. We made a video that got 2.5 thousand views. Now I think it has 4, but when it had 2.5 thousand views, he made $36,000 from that one video.
Wow.
And can you guess how many clients he got from that to make 36,000?
I guess if it's like a mid-ticket, maybe he did like 8, 10.
Yeah, good guess. One client.
One client
That paid him
36K.
That paid him 36. By the way, I was his client too a few years ago, and I paid him $36,000 too. So I know that like people do pay that, and it's a lot of money. I know, right? But I remember when I paid that. By the way, it was years ago. It was all the money I had. So that's an interesting belief as well. That serious people, when it comes to high ticket, you don't have to only have the richest people in the world. Like if someone is serious, they kind of will get the money. But anyway, so he made $36,000 from 2.5 thousand views. But now tying to your question, it's because he has an amazing brand. He helps so many people. He has so much proof. He has so many testimonials that people are ready to pay that premium, right? So talking about that, what's my plan? Is keep posting on YouTube, because right now, let's say I have a 20-minute video. I spent probably 35 minutes on that. You should never do that. Never, ever. Like, it's the worst example. I just say, this is the idea. Okay, I researched it. I prepared the hook a little bit, the outline, and I just flow, right? No editing, boom, upload. Like, kind of the old Simon style for that. But, like, my speaking is a constraint. My storytelling is a constraint. So I need to improve all of that things and spend more time on the videos. So that's my plan. Number one, it's been working very well, but I was not putting enough effort at all. So now in 2025, I want to put way more effort in, more videos, and just more time spending on concising it down, right? Making the videos maybe shorter but more valuable. As Alex Hormozi says, increasing the value per second. Now what I'm thinking about, sometimes I talk a lot, but I want to transition it into action items. Each advice I'm gonna try to give in my YouTube channel, I'm going to try to make it something that people can take and change their behavior, right? Hormozi's definition of learning, so they can actually go and get results. So that's what I'm going to work on, like more high quality videos that I just spend more time and thinking, so it actually provides value rather than just posting for the sake of it. And we recently partnered up with someone for LinkedIn, so they probably are gonna start posting it next week, but we will see how that goes. That's not started yet. We have Twitter. On Twitter we have about like 15K followers. And on Instagram, we have about like 100K followers. And here's the caveat. You can say, Howard, you were just saying you made 100K and you only have a few thousand. I got 0 sales from the Twitter and 100K followers on Instagram during this period. I wasn't even posting there. And how we know is because we track. We have an onboarding calls. We ask people where they came from. We know their sources. We see the data, meaning that it wasn't from this, right? Just answer people's question. Why? Because I wasn't posting. Like I didn't have the time basically to post on other platforms. That's how busy we were with the current clients. But anyway, so we are gonna probably start posting on Instagram again and Twitter, LinkedIn most likely, YouTube. These are the top platforms I'm seeing, right? YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Probably if I have to rank, YouTube number 1, Instagram number 2, LinkedIn number 3, Twitter number 4. And maybe I will do email lists. I've heard that it's very good. I've had email lists for a long time, but I'm not doing it consistently. So that's gonna be the strategy, like just posting on these platforms, focusing on the quality, right? Trying to give people actionable advice and insights, and doing more and better. That's probably the plan.
That's a beautiful way of describing it. Because like I think like I'm on the same journey in terms of like I want to get someone who's going to look after different platforms. For me, like I'm going more into YouTube, and I think like one way to like double click on that YouTube side, because YouTube is king, and it's my belief that YouTube's king because I think you just get to know the people you're watching more. And so you don't have to do as much heavy lifting when you have something to help them. Like they're not starting from scratch. The biggest takeaway I had from Hormozi actually, because I find sometimes conversation, but like I've had it with you several times, where you have a conversation and I have this kind of, oh, okay, I'm not thinking about it big enough, or there's a whole new level to this I hadn't thought about. And the kind of that kind of thought process I had 2 days ago when I was sort of like 10 p.m. on this call, like getting roasted for an hour, was that like the level of effort and intentionality, almost 80% of it in the idea, the packaging, and the first 20 seconds. And I was like, wow, like it really dropped to me, like, dude, like the guys that are crushing it are like, it's like if you had like 100 points, dude, 80 of them, idea, packaging, first 20 seconds. That's 80%. Even though that like your 20 seconds in the video, that probably represents less than 1% sometimes of the entire video length. That's the effort. And it had this kind of like wow moment where I was like, I've been putting like, I started thinking about my ideation process, the way I package videos, how I do the intros, and it did just completely like, I just completely showed how many different levels there are to YouTube, and so it was like a complete unlock for me.
Right. No, that's a great lesson. I agree, and we have had this experience because now we work with a bunch of personal brands and helped a lot of faceless channels, and I had faceless channels. So like I've looked into all kinds of different channels. That's probably the thing that is a meta for any kind of channel, that the packaging and the idea is everything. And that's like even our philosophy. Like we like what we recommend to clients, right? Like if anyone watching this would be a client of ours and they came to us and they wanted to grow their YouTube channels, I would tell you guys, like, honestly, this is what I tell people, right? I would say before you even make a video, right, you should go and do research and find videos that did well. And by the way, it doesn't matter if you're on Instagram, YouTube, any platform, but you find videos that are outliers, right? This term that people now know, most people know what that means, which is basically, for those of you who haven't heard about it, let's say if you get 5,000 views per video on average and another video got 50,000 views, 10 times more, it's an outlier, right? It's a video that performed better. Now, what's our recommendation? We always recommend to find outliers on small channels, because if you go and find an outlier on Alex Hormozi's channel or like any niche that you guys are in, whoever is the biggest creator, it is very helpful and you should pay attention, in my opinion, to their channels and learn from them. But they also have an existing audience already, right? And they have skills. They probably have so much more proof. They're probably very like far from you. So what I would just pay attention. Who is a channel that started 2 months ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, right? And I know that a lot of people watching this are in the AI niche, right, or in similar niches. And AI guys is right now so like hot and trending. I bet you there are new channels all the time. There are videos going viral, right? If you look for them, right? If you search for them, you will find them. And I would recommend to look for these channels that have a lot of views, right? That are new channels that started posting a few months ago. And here's the big thing people don't count in. Can you replicate it, number one, and number two, can you make it better? So what do I mean? Someone comes to me and they are in the, let's say they help people to sing better, right? We literally have a client in that niche. And I say, hey, I want to grow my YouTube channel. We say, cool. So how do you make your YouTube videos? They say, oh yeah, I just come up with the idea, I think of it, I just shoot it, blah, blah, right? But what's interesting, if you copy their title and you search it, you will see that 5 or 10 other people posted a video exactly about that, with a better quality, objectively, not the camera quality, but just a better video that was more time into it, more effort, prepared, right? And they didn't do well. So I'm saying, so you haven't even looked at, before making the video, if other people made that video, maybe they did it better that you are gonna do, that you can do right now realistically. So imagine how much time it saves you, just this habit if you develop it. Before making any YouTube video, right? Going and saying, again, this works for everything, faceless channels, shorts, YouTube, say, who is crushing it? Who is a small channel, who is getting a bunch of views recently, and what can I replicate and what I can improve, right? And the opposite of that is true. The fastest way to grow, I found, Jack, is you find a channel or channels, ideal there's a pattern, like 5 channels, post a video about this AI thing or this new whatever, right? And all of them did well, and you click on the video and you say, oh damn, this could be better. They missed this part. They didn't talk about this part in detail. I was interested, right? You read the comments, oh, people are complaining about this. This video can be better, and I can make it better. I have the skills, or I know about AI, whatever. I can replicate it, and then I can make it better. If you come with this mindset, you see, oh gosh, like this video already worked for these 5 people. You take it, you improve the packaging. You don't just directly copy it. You say, how can I make my thumbnail a little bit better, or in my style, or whatever. Same for the title. And then you can start making the video and try to make it a little bit better. And now what are your chances of your video doing well. Once you took something that wasn't as good but still did well on small channels and you do it better. So this process, literally, we have like weekly calls in our communities, and we have a free community as well. So for this to not to be advertising, but where people come, Jack, and they say, hey, like every week, my channel grew. I had this success. This happened. Each time I say, what did you do? Oh, I did that idea process. Every single time is that. It's never hard. I started joking in the videos, and now which can be true, by the way. You joke, you are more funny or interesting, but never someone said it to me. Every time, hard. All of the advice was great. Thank you. The one thing, I started doing this consistently, my videos do better, which is basically validating our ideas.
The idea side. So like, okay, so let's take that concept. So if there's a video that's popped off on, let's say, AI agents, as just top of my head here, and you see 10 other channels that have done the same thing, would that mean that you wouldn't create a video on that? Like, do you take, could you go a bit deeper on your ideation process, any tools that you use? How does Harouk come up with his $1 million videos?
Right, sure, I will. So first of all, again, for full transparency, I'm not right now focused as much on YouTube because of how busy we are, right? As I said, like signing all the clients, all this growth.
You've got operations,
people just see the outcome of, hey, you made this much money. That means 25 clients, 45 clients you need to deliver for, which we always keep our promises. The other things that, without wasting the time of this podcast, I wouldn't get into. But there's a lot of things. So this is a bad excuse I have. You should never have an excuse for not posting YouTube videos because it's the best platform ever. And anyone with a brain understands this, right? Like if you go to Alex Hormozi, the guy has unlimited resources. He still says YouTube gives half of our deals. Like YouTube, the best customers get. He has unlimited resources, team members, talent. So if it's not that like we are in the YouTube niche or we help people grow on Twitter, Instagram, but I'm still saying YouTube is the best because it is, right? Okay, now, so it's not an excuse why I'm not focused on that. But what I did that worked for me, right? And what I'm going to do because I can get better at this again because I need to keep myself accountable too, is this. Like let's say I'm opening, like, okay, let's say we are looking for an AI agent, right? As for your example, for the video. So it's not that if I saw 10 videos, I wouldn't make a video about that. All I care about is the ratio between how well the video did and the size of the channel. What do I mean? So if I see 10 videos from channels, they have 100,000 subscribers, and their videos got 5,000 views, 10,000 views, 20,000 views about this AI agent, I won't make that video. Because they, with all that audience and all of that, they got these benefits. What I want to see 10 channels, 3 channels, 1 channel, the more the better, but channels that have 5,000 subscribers, 10,000, 20, doesn't matter, but their video got more views. 3, 5, 10 times more. They have 3,000 subscribers, their video got 30,000. On this channel, that this was a little bit bigger, it has 50,000 subscribers, let's say as you, Jack, right, or close to that. The video got 200,000 views, right? So it's always growing. Because in this case, I would say, damn, this idea outperformed for all of the channels, right? So now I will take that, I will make it better. But if bigger channels than me, that did or probably will do a better videos than me, like realistically, right? They didn't do well. Why am I making another video? Like, why? Like, what's my hypothesis? Like, what's my thesis that my video is gonna do better? Like, why is it because I want to grow my YouTube channel, get rich? That's why YouTube is gonna say cool. No, right? So if it didn't work for people, I try not to do that. If it works, I do it. Now, answering some questions that people might have watching this, you can have 20% of the videos from my experience that you can experiment with, which is awesome. So like 80%, you take inspiration, you see what works, and you improve on that. 20%, it's some unique idea you had, you didn't see anything, your just intuition tells you this will do well, or like from experience on your channel, what worked best for you, doing more of that, awesome, go and try that. But 80% of the time, 90% of the time, this is the process. And by the way, I've been talking about this for years, but this is not new. Like, Hormozi is doing the same thing. They're packaging, they have it, I think he showed you during your call, right? Which I didn't know about. Like, I was talking about this like 2 years ago in the course, we have that documentation. Like, he's saying, oh, we have all these viral packagings, and if they did well, right, they are outliers, only then we take it and then we even make it a video. Because as you said, if someone doesn't click on the video, they won't watch it. So therefore, this process, I'm telling every single person watching this, if you implement this, you will be so much far ahead than your competition. No one is doing it, including me. I have excuses, right? That I am busy, blah, blah, and I'm not doing it because it's so much easier. Oh, boom, I made the video, right? But if you do that consistently, which I am going to do, right? It's you will crush everyone. That's the one big
Yeah,
thing.
it's funny because it's dressed in overalls, which means most people won't actually physically do it. Like I sat down for 2 or 3 hours with Adam,
Yeah.
he leads our community, to pretty much just write down all the feedback, and we action it step by step by step by step all the way through. And I think it can feel overwhelming, can't it, starting on a new platform? And it's like just Mr. Beast famously said, "Get your first 20 videos out." I agree. No expectations. Get it out. Weirdly enough, one of the unlocks for me, Harut, was when I said, "Look, I kind of divorced myself from the views, and I said, look, I'm just going to post volume to see what works, and like I'm just going to focus on getting better." And when I did that, that's when I started to see the takeoff. The
Right.
ideas thing was interesting because like what I thought was really cool is how Hormozi looked at what videos are outliers in different niches, and then it's like, how can I take that concept and bring it over for what I want to talk about? Because you
Right.
know, one of the things that really, one of the big learnings I had last year was of all the things you need to innovate on, the funnel is not one of them. Like you don't need to create a brand new, like invent a new wheel. Like these funnels work, like from LinkedIn to DM to Skool or from YouTube to Skool. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. There's no point. I actually then realized it's the same thing with what gets people to click or video ideas. It's like you don't need to create something brand new or innovate. Find the stuff that's already working, add your razzle dazzle, your sprinkle to it. Could be different industry, could be same industry, and then you can crush it. I don't know if you found this. I think one of the biggest things I've seen, if I zoom out, right, because we've got 1,700 people in our community, loads of brilliant minds, and I've seen like thousands of people like this, and I've seen people who are crushing it. The commonality I always see is the guys that are really winning seem to be focused on a platform, mostly only one platform, and they're doing mostly only one thing. And the guys that are struggling, guys and girls that are struggling, is they're doing 16 different projects simultaneously. It's the shiny object syndrome that's holding people back. And I don't think you need more than one platform to get like 2 million a year. I really think you can get that with just one platform. In fact, you probably should, unless you can do it with no noticeable difference from your particular output. So, I mean, how do you hold that? Is that something that you see a lot with the entrepreneurs you're coaching? You're helping on their journey to monetize. Talk to me about that, like focus.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. First of all, you mentioned Adam. He's awesome. So if you
Yes.
are watching this, Adam, yeah, what you are doing, guys, with AI automations is really good. And you are one of the few people that you grow and your growth is sustainable. And that is what I respect. And that's what we take pride in as well for us, for our clients. And that's who we usually track, people that don't want to be the Harvard few years ago, made 20K a month and then disappeared, right? But the Harvard that keeps making money every month, keeps helping people every month. It compounds you. The work you did a year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, it pays dividends. The relationship that you have, the people that you help, and all of that. So that's big respect to Adam. It's really cool to see that.
Thank
And I think that's why Hormozi did that call even in the first place, if I'm not mistaken. So guys, watch that once Jack will, because he knows Jack, like you've heard from Sam, from other people that, hey, he's not pump and dump, right, as they call it now.
Yeah.
He's getting there and staying there, which is awesome. Now for the clicking thing, quickly touch on that too. Yeah, that's so true, man. Like if people don't like this is overused. So people watching this are thinking, oh damn, I've heard this a million times, right? Which is if people don't click on your videos, they won't watch it. But it's so true. And we have access to the client's analytics and data, right? And when I look, we have a client that probably people will recognize, but I won't say the name too, not for it to not be, because maybe they don't want to. But they had a video that got like 100,000 views. And when I looked at the audience retention, it's not the highest. Like it was a 20-minute video, Jack, and the audience retention was 4 minutes. So like 20%. It's not 40%, 50% is exceptional. Like Mr. Beast has 70%. You can have a video doing well with 30% or less, right? But it wasn't. It was just 4 minutes, right? But just because how interesting that topic was, right? How many people clicked on that, that's why it did well. And I will reveal it, she made tens of thousands of dollars from that video because of that reason. So I agree with you. Like it's all about what the people click on, right? If they clicked on it, then then the next question is you can just clickbait. You need to have the art of getting people watch, which is hard too. But that's it. Yeah, making people click, right? Quick thing on this to share as well for people to see that like I'm speaking from experience actually. It's from taking ideas from different like niches / sub niches is powerful because I had a football channel. It's called Mr. Football. If you guys search it right now, I sold the channel. I have a case study where I documented how I'm like growing it from zero. I have it on my YouTube channel, even if you want to go and check it out. Anyway, my personal YouTube channel is The Harut, and it's a free video. I'm not selling you anything there. One of the most famous videos is like I walk through how I grew that channel. Why I'm saying this, when I had that channel, one of the most popular videos that I had that got over 1 million views in that niche, and we had like several, is when I saw that another video in the golf niche did well, which was what Tiger Woods, which is, for people that don't know, is a famous golf player. I don't know anything about golf, rather than Tiger Woods is a golf player, right? So Tiger Woods, what Tiger Woods is hiding about his kids, right? So saying, what is he hiding about? Like, whatever. So that was the video, and it got like 300,000 views on a channel jack that at the time had like 5,000 subscribers, right? So I knew, oh,
Wow.
this is what I want. And then I said, wait, why no one made a video about what Messi is hiding about his kids? What Cristiano Ronaldo is hiding about his kids? Boom, did it, executed, both videos, 600,000 views one, 1 million views to the other one. Then I did another video, what Messi is hiding about his kids, that still did well. Then another video, so people kept watching it. Why? Because they are interested in that, right? So it wasn't a completely different niche, it was still sports, right? But it was like golf, and taking it, applying to football. No one really did it up to that point. It was years ago. People can find these videos if you search the titles. I don't own the channel anymore. I sold it because, again, to your point, you need to focus. Like, I'm not even posting it. It's crazy. But anyway, so that works very well. So 100% pay attention to what's going on in your niche and in similar niches, because if you become the first adopter of that viral concepts, right, from smaller channels, and you do it in your niche, usually you crush it. So, what was the question? Sorry, I rambled so much.
No, it was your ideation process, because that leads me to another question. It's something that I think about at the moment, where I'm kind of in the lab with, which is someone, there's a guy, what's his name? Nate Black or something. He's like a YouTuber, and he said like, you have like, if you imagine a circle, a larger circle around that, and a larger circle around that, and you have your segment on YouTube, and it was like the kind of narrow bit is you going really niche. That could be how to build a RAG AI agent. And then basically, to further out you get to the third concentric circle, there's something really big, like this AI does everything for you. So it's like the top, like the outermost circle segment would be appealing to something that 2 million people would click on. But the innermost one is something that maybe 5,000 people would click on. One of my questions, or one of my thoughts at the moment is like, where do you pitch your videos? Like, do you try and use it? Because one of Hormozi's thing is, I don't know what RAG is. In the AI space, you'd know that means like retrieval augmented generation, right? So you could, if you wish, to pitch your videos very specifically. And I think this will help a lot of people watching it in terms of like the education and awareness level. Harut, what's your point of view on big, like videos that could be clicked on by 2 million people, or videos that really just try to like heat-seek and missile those people that would know the terminology, make it ultra specific?
That's such a good question, man. I love it. By the way, I remembered your previous one, so I will respond to it and this one. But this last one, I love that question, because that's something I struggled with for such a long period of time, and now sometimes I think about it, and I think I found something, but I'm curious to know your thoughts on that. But you asked before that, like, focus. I think, like, can you get to 2 million a year with one? Absolutely. Like, not only you can. It's so hard for me, as I told you. Like, I'm here talking about YouTube, and I'm not posting consistently on YouTube because I can't. Right? And I LinkedIn, Twitter, and I'm every day like torturing myself. If I did, we would grow more, we would attract more people, we would just, but like, why am I not? Because like, I can't, right? If you look at it during the day, like without going crazy, without killing yourself, right? Which I still, sometimes we work like 14 hours in a day. So, but still it's so hard, right? So absolutely, not only you can probably, that's easier. Like my controversial opinion would be, right? Like if you actually go in on the platform, that's awesome. And then over time, if you have resources, you can hire team members, etc. You can go broader, but absolutely, like I wouldn't start posting on 6 platforms at once, unless you are in a niche where the volume matters, so you want to be everywhere. For 95% of the people, one niche, stick to it, become the best. After you said, oh my gosh, I'm the number one on this platform in this niche in terms of the audience and blah blah, maybe you can consider moving on. My personal opinion about the question. So I love how Hormozi does it, which is. He talks about things that beginners will find interesting, the advanced people will find interesting, because of how simple he makes it, right? And I think a lot of this is because he spends the actual time to sit down and to think, to make things simplified to get to the essence, to the core of the thing, which is very intellectually hard thing, right? And it's easier for me to hear say CTR, outlier, blah blah, right? Because like, but you need to, and it's not like that you are dumbing it down necessarily. No, you're just making it simpler, and the simpler the better for you, for people. So here's what I found: like people like him do very well. They still talk, like they don't go and talk to everyone, right? Here's how to turn on the computer to use AI. AI stands for artificial intelligence. He's not gonna say that, right? You are not. But if you can like make the term, for example, that word you said that I have no idea about.
Yeah, already forgotten it. Yeah.
Right? Now, if you say it and every time say what that means, the person that knows it isn't gonna be like too mad about it, right? So like what Hormozi does well, in my opinion, he talks about the concept that can get people from 1 million to 10 million, right? So they are still interested because but it's so simple and so like easy to explain that even people that aren't there yet or don't have that aren't at that stage, let's put it that way, can still watch, which makes your TAM, which is total addressable market, how many people can watch your videos, right? Broader and bigger. So I think that's how he does it. Like he says, okay, this is the video, this is the concept, this is the idea, right? How do I make it that people that are interested will watch this? And I have an example for this. Like recently we posted a video that did relatively well in our niche, in the business space. It got 15K views, which was the video with Hormozi, right? And I was thinking, how should I package it? And it's the only video I spent like more than 30 minutes on, and it did well. So this is for everyone that did actually well, right? So the lesson, spend more effort. Usually the videos are better. Anyway, when I was thinking about that video, Jack, I thought like this was some relatively high level conversation, right? You are at this level, how to scale to even more. But how do I get more people to watch this than 300? Like should it be like my call with Alex or Hormozi, should be whatever? And then I came up with, which is a very simple and obvious thing when I look back at it, but Alex Hormozi shows me how to scale to $300,000 a month, then private call, right? And on the thumbnail we can see it's a Zoom thing. That's the video that I got so much like feedback from a lot of people, like crazy people. I was looking for years.
Post? Did you add any like little bells and whistles to it?
Nothing. I just literally cut that part and I posted that video, right? That part. And why I'm saying this, when I packaged it that way, how Alex Hormozi shows me how to scale to 300,000 a month, the beginner is interested how to scale to $300,000 a month and that knows Hormozi. But so many advanced people, like even again, I'm saying 8-figure entrepreneurs, 7-figure entrepreneurs. Like I'm not saying this just to, you can go even, there's a couple of comments from people you will recognize, right? But most people don't. But anyway, they watched that video. So it worked. I know it worked because the people I wanted to watch, watched. But some beginners did, or a bunch of beginners did as well, right? Because it was so simple what we talk about inside the video and the packaging, it kind of applied to both. Now, you won't always be able to do it for sure, right? So like sometimes, no, like, and you will have to sacrifice a little bit, but that's it. But also what's interesting, Jack, I don't think that if I just did it with, just cut it and put it out there, that means that if I didn't cut it and put it out there and I spent more effort in, it wouldn't do better. I don't know, maybe it would. So the lesson I wouldn't say from this is just like cut and put it there. It's just that like, but I don't like editing much, like, or giving it to the editor. Like I tried it before, that's why I burned out with faceless channels. I want just like, if you can sit down and watch the 10-minute video, which it is, with Hormozi and me, like, okay, right?
Dude,
so
I love that. Yeah. Because it's weirdly enough, the videos that I have the highest average view duration on have in fact, zero editing. I think maybe a tiny bit at 20 seconds at the beginning, but the podcasts that have like, there's just something about that natural organic conversation. And I love that you did that because it's raw. People recognize it, and like you spent more time on the packaging, and the video absolutely crushed them.
Maybe, by the way, it would do better if I do spend the time. I don't know. Like it's just a trade-off thing, right? If my life depended on the video doing well for me to get leads, I would spend more time to maybe cut this part, maybe do this part, give more context, whatever. Like I will spend some real time to see what's gonna be the best video, right? But it's just that, yeah, like I'm at a stage where, and again, this is an excuse. I shouldn't have this excuse, but where there's so many things, when there's like hundreds of people that want your time and this, it is harder, right? But if it was the hard that, like, he needs to pull that off, I would probably just do more, right? I would probably try to think how can I package it better or so. Or like the video right now relatively slowed down. It got like to 15,000 views, and then and again for this niche is very good. Like some big people in the industry besides freaks like Hormozi do get usually that. So I'm proud of that at least video, which is a lot of it is because of course Hormozi, I did well, but. I could spend more time into the packaging. I could spend more time on these things, right? But yeah, I didn't. But it still did well. But anyway, why we got here is that, yeah, that's how I think about that topic, that question. It's like, because I struggle with this so much, like I don't want to like go very broad and talk to like, I don't know, I don't want to like people that just want to get rich overnight. They just want to make scam people. Like most of the marketplace, unfortunately, is this way. Like I don't blame them, but like I don't resonate with that much.
I agree 100%.
So
yeah,
I don't want to track these people. So for that, I need to make like more niched videos. But then I get like 300 views, 500 views, 1,000 views. But then I think like, what if I went a little bit broader and then got 10? So I always have that. But like, how do I not attract the very wide masses, but how do I attract as much possible the perfect person I want? And that's the hard part with the packaging. But the way I found that works is that way, like that you simplify it so much that like I could name the title the complexity of operations scaling from 7 figures to 8 figures with Alex Hormozi, right? Or how to balance maintaining the happy clients with scale without hiring. Like who is gonna watch? Like probably more qualified people will watch it, but then probably Alex Hormozi shows me how to scale to $300,000 a month. Pretty much a lot of people can click on that, still, but the serious person that is at 100K a month, 10K a month, 5K a month, 1K a month, whatever, they will still watch it too. But you can't always do it with every video, but if you can, that's how I think about it.
I really like that. I guess it's like, what's a classic example of this? The Simpsons. The genius of The Simpsons was it was written in the way that both parents and children could enjoy it. Like even now you can watch The Simpsons and get jokes that just go straight over a kid's head. It's like, how can you take a concept that presents as complex and make that simple in a way that a brand new beginner and a what's it. The other thought I have in the lab that I'm going to experimenting with is some videos that are just, that's how you deliver the video, how you package the video. I guess there's like nuance, like do you know there's like concentric circles? Like there's a way to package it that hits all three, or you should start your belief with that. And also maybe the other thing I'm going to experiment with is like, do some videos that are just like, I don't know, like for example, one thing is I'm going to be channeling, I'm going to buy some Ray-Ban Meta glasses, and I'm going to show people how you can do automations with that. That's an example of something I think that could have really broad appeal to people outside of our core audience here, because it's like, oh, that's cool. This guy's like running his life through his glasses. That aren't necessarily core AI automation like lovers, so to speak. And then you have your more niche one. So it's like, I guess like, you can never ditch that romance with experimentation and data. And it's like, one of the things that impressed me with Hormozi as well is like, he's developed a pulse. He's developed a intuition, but he developed that from being romantic about the data. Like he lived by the data, but then you just get those wild, like, I just want to make a video on this because it's artistically important to me. Because like, have you seen Penguin or like Moist Critical? And he does some video series, which I think is interesting generally if you want to scale with content for everyone listening. And he has like certain videos he does that absolutely tank. Like he has like certain review videos that get like 10% of the views. And everyone's like, dude, why the hell do you make these videos? Because they're garbage. And he's like, dude, I make them because I really enjoy that. And because he enjoys YouTube, he's going to be there 20 times longer. He's going to do 50 times more videos. So the net effect of integrating your passion meant that your total net volume goes up. Even if that video's job isn't to perform, that video's job is to artistically, engage. It's just an interesting concept actually about doing things sometimes that aren't, part of a grand master plan sometimes, because enjoying what you do is important.
Yeah, such a good point, man. I love it. I think it's like, if you look at it from a strategic standpoint, then it makes sense, because if it helps you to kind of find joy in the process, or like to not burn out, or to increase like the longevity of your thing, that's like kind of, if you have a machine that produces eggs, the number one thing to do is to not break the machine, right? Not like try to have so many eggs that okay, let's say it produces 5 eggs a day, you scale to 20, but it breaks after 2 days. If it was 5 eggs a day and you did it for a year, you would have like hundreds of times more eggs, right? With this simple analogy. So meaning if that helps you, like this is literally the right thing to do for your soul, for your joy, for the enjoyment, right? For you just as an art for the process. And also one thing you touched on that is interesting, even like doesn't matter if you do it for the joy or like you think it will do well, whatever, is each video can serve a little bit different purpose sometimes. Meaning, I'm sure you've heard about this. There's this marketing concept, which is top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, right?
Yes.
So top of funnel people are not aware about you. This is the first time they are seeing you. They don't know much about it. Like they're not interested. They don't trust you much, etc. Right? The middle of funnel people watched a couple of your videos and they like you a little bit, trust you, kind of know what you do, right? But not really. And then the bottom of funnel people know you are, have seen your product but didn't buy, right? Watch the podcast with you, right? Like whatever, and then the content that they will respond to sometimes is different. So like strategically, if your goal is, oh my gosh, like I have so much top of funnel traffic, I have so many people, but I'm doing a bad job of nurturing. People are asking me all the time, hey, do you have a product? What do you sell? How can we work together? It's probably the indication you are not making deeper content that can go deeper and talk to the people that are watching you, right? And can join. And especially for high ticket, by the way, this is important because for someone to pay you $1, $3, $5, $10, $20, $50,000, like crazy numbers, they need to spend more content with you, which is this rule called like 4-7-11. Have you heard about it?
I haven't heard of 4-7-11 now.
Yeah, this is a really interesting concept, which is if you want someone to become a buyer, this is from Google. They have looked into like, I don't know, millions of customer journeys and stuff. So like they have one of the biggest data in the world. So it's pretty accurate. And what they found is that in average, someone needs to consume 7 hours of content at 4 different touch points, right? No, sorry, at 4 different locations, at 11 different touch points. Now, what this means? So 7 hours of content, very self-explanatory, right? They watched 7 podcasts, 1 hour each, or 20 of your videos, 20 minutes each, or whatever, right? Let's say 7. And this is, of course, not a rule. Like, someone can watch 5 hours and buy 50 hours and not buy from you. But, like, this is average numbers.
The average.
Someone watched 7 hours from you at 4 different locations. What this means? And this is, by the way, when the benefit of having sometimes another platform helps. So, for example, they watched your YouTube video, but they are also in your school group, in the free one or in the paid one or in the trial. They watched your course, or they joined your call, or they like you like a vlog from you where you're outside, or they saw you in the more in-depth conversation during the podcast. So it's not like they saw you in different, because psychologically when we perceive someone as a friend, we see them in different places, right? You go to the gym with them sometimes, maybe, right? Or if it's a childhood friend, you ate together, or like you study together, or you play football together, and then you listen to music, and then you travel. So you see the person different places. That's how kind of our brain makes a connection. I kind of know this person, I'm seeing them often in different places, right? So that's the point of it. And the last one is like 11, which is 11 different touch points, meaning like they saw you today, next day, a week from now, across 11 different videos, right? So 4-7-11 again, 4 different locations, hours of content, 11. Now, how should we, as Hormozi says, make this, operationalize this so we can change our behavior? Because if I said this and people said yes and then we move on, this isn't available, right? So we can talk about like how to implement this, which is to implement this, all you literally do is you post content, right? And you post content that sometimes will go in depth with people, right? Because if someone consumes 7 hours of content from you, but it's all just like the very surface level things, they are less likely to buy. Right? So how to use this rule to your favor, make content, making more long-form content, more valuable content, right, is the key. In terms of how to, to your question, sometimes it's like, how can we determine what kind of videos we make, and is it okay sometimes make different types of videos? The answer is yes, when you notice that, again, people consumed a lot of hours from content from you, let's say the 4-7-11 rule, but not many people buy, so you have little conversion, right? So let's say you have a school community, you have 0.something% conversion instead of 1, 2, 3, 4% or more, right? So you have less conversion than needed. Then you can say, damn, like I have all these subscribers, all the views. Why won't I make some video that would be middle of funnel or bottom of funnel? It won't get millions of views, can't even get, but it will be really in depth, really nuanced. This is what happened like yesterday. I had a call this time. Now it's 9 p.m. for me. It was 10 p.m. It was a 2-hour call. But anyway, before that call, that person messaged me on Skool and he said, hey, I watched your YouTube video. I felt like this is made exactly for me, right? Like exactly. And this was a pretty sophisticated person, right? And I said, why? I said like, hey, because like it was really literally for me. And I went to that video and said, oh, damn, yeah. this has like 700 views or something, but like I really went into depth. So like this couldn't even get many views. It could if I was a better speaker and put more effort and all of that, but it couldn't get like 1 million views, but it went in depth, and that person can become a 10, 15, 20,000 dollar client soon, right? By the way, for everyone watching, that's not the only things we sell. We have free communities where we help people. We have low ticket things, so it's not that we only help people at that stage.
And I'd say you add a lot of value there, because you've been in our community, you've given us a masterclass, and people absolutely freaking love it. And dude, I think you are a great speaker. I think it's a style thing. Sometimes some people gesticulate more, but you've got a very, I don't know, analytical. You can go into very deep waters, and you don't miss a beat when you're communicating. I think that always comes across really strongly. On the point that you made as well, I'd love to pick your brain. I think is a really nice, brilliant crescendo to this conversation.
Right.
Is the figure 10K is flying around a lot, which I think is interesting online. You're on your journey from going from 100K a month to $1 million a month, which I think is really exciting. I was asking someone this question actually, like, what are the entrepreneurs doing who are turning over $1 million a month in this area? What does that look like? Could you share your thoughts on the difference of like either vehicle, scale, behaviors, systems between that first 1,000, the 10K, your 100, and your $1 million a month? What are your? It's a loaded question, loaded intentionally because it's explosive.
Right.
But what do you think about that, bro?
Yeah, amazing question. I think it's 4 things. Probably the first thing is the entrepreneur. So like you can be in the best, most most scalable niche or something, but like you wouldn't scale to 1 million for objective. And I'm not at a million, so this is all my opinion, right? I'm qualified to talk about 100K a month, and it's not even has been like in a span of a year where it's consistent. So probably in a year I can even more confident talk about it. But we do have clients I have clients even making more than me that work with me. So like I have some sort of like data I can give, but still, probably going to Hormozi would be better. But like my opinion would be number one, entrepreneur. Again, objective reasons or subjective reasons. So what do I mean? It can be because you don't want to scale to $1 million a month, because it means you need to have 10 team members or 15, or you need to have 3 different products to increase the LTV, the lifetime value, right? Like maybe it's not enough to have a community. You need to have a very high ticket thing, which means you need to spend more time. Or like, especially if you're talking about relatively short time horizons, like maybe in 20 years you can grow there with not sacrificing much, but probably if you want to do it faster, which most people do, it's gonna be, you really need to want it and you need to be ready to sacrifice for it, which is some entrepreneurs just will choose to not do it, which is absolutely fine. I chose not to go after just the money when I was at 20K a month, and I'm very ambitious person, extremely, and not really. And I stopped there when it was just the money, for me at least, right? And if you get to 100K, a lot of people are gonna say, damn, like why should I get to $1 million a month? So the number one is entrepreneur, right? Like they might not want to. Now let's get into more interesting stuff, because if you ask the question, you assume that you want to, or maybe someone wants to, right? Which is more interesting, which is the reasons that there can be just that, honestly, and I hate to say this, but not everyone can, in my opinion. Because, and I'm not saying that I can, or I guarantee, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but like just, there is a statistics. 0.4% of the businesses in US make $1 million a month, as far as I know, 0.4. And that means 99.6% doesn't, right? So it's like, a lot of times it's the entrepreneur, like you need to be driven, sometimes broken. So like you want to prove people wrong. That's why you go and there's something, I don't know, some people have trauma, some people have some things to prove people wrong. So some insane level of drive and energy to get there, to do what it takes for it to be worth it, right? To pay the price. So that should be for the entrepreneur, plus on top of it, the skill set, the consistency, all of this, right? Now, let's say we have the perfect entrepreneur. Then I think the next thing is going to be what you work on, right? What you work on works more than on you than you work on it, right? Or it's more important what boat you are in than how hard you roll, right? Kind of is that the thing. Imagine Hormozi, but imagine he's still a personal trainer in the gym, right? Can he become a billionaire? Probably not. So what you work on, right? Yeah. How much leverage you have. Have you heard about Naval Ravikant's book about the 4 leverages?
No, I haven't actually.
Cool. So he says there's 4 forms of leverage, and Naval Ravikant, for everyone listening, is he's very, very famous entrepreneur, from Silicon Valley, right? Old school. Hormozi learned a lot from him, as far as I know, and then he's sometimes quoting things from him. So he's an amazing guy, right? So very rich, very like wise, etc. Anyway, so he had this book where he said there are 4 types of leverages. So the first one is code, right? So you have software, right? Nowadays it can be AI, it can be the fact that right now I'm in Armenia, right, or in UK, and we can have this code. This is a software that we're leveraging. So like that's the code side of things, right? Now, for example, Sam Ovens, right? Sam Ovens without the code or with code, 2 different people, right? Sam Ovens is a freaking genius, but once he has code where it's cool, anyone just can click a button, he's sleeping and he's getting paid because he has a community robot that is working for him, very high leverage, than Sam Ovens that is just selling consulting, let's say, right? So that's a big thing. So the first C of it is code, right? The second thing is content, which is awesome for everyone watching this. You're probably interested into content or like growing your personal brand. That's a high leverage because we make this once. People can watch this 500 times, 1,000 times, 2,000 times. Can watch this today and tomorrow. You can clip this and post on Instagram in the future. You can leverage this. This is content, right? We do it one time, everyone sees it. The next one is capital. So like you have money for that's how like people invest $1 million into something, right? I don't know, crypto or whatever. Not a financial advice, right? Or like stocks or whatever, private equity, and then or like the simplest thing is you put it into a bank and it has like 3% return a year. Some high interest banks, right? And you made 3%. So like it's capital. That's a form of leverage. The last one is collaboration. Right now, what are we doing? Collaborating. What are you doing with other entrepreneurs? Collaborating. Like what are Sam Ovens and Alex Hormozi doing? Collaborating. So when you look at the people that make million a month, I think they have either 3 of these 4 things or the 4 things plus they are a little entrepreneur. So they are a little entrepreneur and let's have a look at Alex Hormozi and Sam Ovens, right? They have content, which is Hormozi. Hormozi has enough for both of them, right? Content more than you need. And like doing this for 6 years, 10, 12 million followers, really in-depth, really valuable, really nurtured followers, content. They have code, Skool, right? It's literally a software platform. Yeah. Number 3, collaboration. They collaborate with each other. We right now talk about them. So right now we collaborate with them without them even caring or knowing. And capital, Hormozi invested millions of dollars into that. As far as I know, I don't have any insider information, but like probably, I don't know how much, but he invested, which was a capital, right? So now they can use that capital to hire people, to run ads, to make their product better, school better, to give cyber trucks for people. So basically they have capital, they have code, they have content, and they have collaborations, right? At a different level. And last thing I will share on this, and we'll stop rambling, is like, it's not about do you have this, but like how as Herman says, how deeply do you have this? Like not only they have a collaboration with each other, they are going to get, I think, Iman Gadzhi to the platform very soon. They are going to get other big influencers, right? Russell Brunson joins Skool, like some of these people that have audiences, that now it's collaborations at scale. One Iman Gadzhi comes, 500,000 users, let's say, come with him. Now they tell their friends. So there's more collaboration. Like Skool created this ecosystem because of their good product and the foundation straight, that collaboration happens all the time. Like people collaborate with each other to grow Skool that aren't even, because Skool incentivizes people that way, right? Capital, it can be $1 or it can be millions, right? If you're Hormozi. Content, 1 podcast or have been doing it for 6 years and like 2,000 episodes, different, right? Or how good are they? Collaboration, we talked about that. What is the code? Again, the code, we are using the code, which is YouTube, but like there's levels to this, right? How much you are using of it, what kind of custom solutions you have, all this stuff. So answering your question in a very long way, right? The entrepreneur, these 4 things of leverage, which is basically what you work on, right? That, and the first thing, time. So like if you're Hormozi or Skool, like their goal is to help 1 billion people find a community. We are very far from that now, but we are progressing very fast, right? Skool is gonna get there, but they need time. You can have all these things, they won't get there in a month, right? To get to really high levels, like 8 figures and beyond, time is the ingredient. So all of these things can actually compound. So entrepreneurs, leverage, the 4 things, the 4 C's, and time probably, in my opinion, would be how you get there.
That is absolutely beautiful. And I think, the bit to I love about that is the compounding aspect of it, where if I add time to the equation, how quickly does this compound? Someone once said that if you're doing an activity or a business where you have a compound working in your favor, the exponentiality of it is crazy. I think, and to your point, I think, which summarizes it, is that amazing entrepreneur, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Hormozi, Ovens, in a car dealership, in a shop selling phones, in McDonald's, it's entrepreneur plus vehicle. It's and having that question about, am I in a vehicle with leverage? And most people
Yeah.
don't think about leverage, but leverage is one of the most fundamental principles in the world, like kind of like actually both in terms of physics and making business. We don't think in terms of leverage, the leverage of what
Right.
we do. And I think that's such a beautiful point. Harut, first of all, Bert, thank you for coming to the podcast, sharing
Yeah.
the wisdom. We've got a masterclass with Harut in the community. But dude, one thing I've been asking everyone to leave is for a book recommendation. It doesn't have to be
Mm-hmm.
business related, but is there a book that's changed your life that you
Mm-hmm.
say, listen, guys, if you read one book, please read this one. Harut, what is
Right.
that book, and any other final thoughts from you, bro?
Right, of course. First of all, it was a pleasure. Thank you everyone that was watching this for like 1 hour. Appreciate you. And hope you were watching on 2x speed, so it took you less time.
Efficiency
Or
is
found
better.
it at least
You're efficient.
at
I
least
like that.
helpful. Yeah. So for the first of all, you said about the vehicle. Great news. You and everyone watching this is most likely in a very good vehicle. It has something to do with AI, right? One of the biggest trends or the biggest trend ever right now. So all
Absolutely.
of you guys are in a very good macro vehicle on a big scale. So that's great news. Now for the book recommendations, I will be honest. I think most of the things I've learned is from YouTube videos, right? So like I would recommend you to just see like what do you want to accomplish and who accomplished it already and who has been doing it consistently and who helped other people like you accomplish that thing. And if you find them, right, what like it can be Jack, for example, right? You say, okay, Jack helped these people to grow. He's doing this consistently. I want to learn from it. Awesome. So like learn from these people. I like you watching YouTube videos, and I assume a lot of people watching this, they watch the podcast, they like it too. So like to be quite honest with you, what changed my life is the YouTube videos, and I consume like tens of thousands of them. But you don't have to consume much. All you have to do is like just follow a few people that you really like, that really you find valuable and helpful, and then to go and take massive action, imperfect action. Start executing. That's the key. If I have to say a book, probably like for beginners, if you have never read, this is a cliche book like Think and Grow Rich or like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If I'm not paraphrasing it, the other one is How to Get Friends and Influence People. These are like very foundational books that teach you like soft skills, that teach you that it's possible, that get you to the like what we talked about. The first factor is the entrepreneur, right? Get us to the like kind of upgrade our character like in a video game, right? The first thing to do to accomplish the mission, you upgrade the character. That's what it helps you to do. If like it should be like a businessy, then Hormozi's books, like if you read $100 million offers and the leans, and I know he has a new one coming soon, that would be good. And one that a lot of people haven't read yet, maybe you guys did, but like it's here. It's called Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. It's very good too. So Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. Most people, before Hormozi came, most people that are in this industry were learning from that book. That's how much of a good book it is. So Expert Secrets, Hormozi's books, and then watching, some good YouTubers or podcasters or influencers, whoever it is. And here's the key, taking massive action. I've learned a lot. I've invested $200,000 into coaching programs, mentorships. I still do. I still continue doing them. But it changed my life. But none of that would be possible without me failing and taking action. Because you can learn this, you can watch this podcast, you can watch another one and then another one, and it will help you. I promise you, right? But what will help you even more, or when this will help you the most, is when you right now go and you do it. You are thinking about starting your YouTube channel, post that first video. It won't be good, but it will be your first video, and then you will improve, and no one cares, right? I had this fear, I'm gonna start on YouTube, people are gonna judge. No one cares, no one thinks about you. Get started, do it, right? If you already started, make more videos, right? Why can't you do more? Why can't you put more effort? Take more action, go after it, because the clock is ticking. We none of us know how much time we have on this earth, right? So there's no guarantees when that these opportunities in front of you will be open. So if you're really serious, which everyone watching this is by watching the podcast to this point, in my opinion, or most of you, please don't lose time. Go and do it. You don't have to be perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm wasting time. I'm watching entertainment videos. Like recently I watched Beast Games from Mr. Beast. I watch that stuff too, right?
You're
but
human.
mainly,
You're human
most of the
after all.
time,
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, I
would be
love
my
that.
recommendation.
Reducing the delta between the idea and execution, that's where victory is. Harut, thank you so much, bro. I friggin' really appreciate you, bro. You're a good friend. You're a friend of the channel now. You're a friend of the community. Dude, thank you so much for joining. And we look forward to get you back on our dude when you've been on that 5 and 10x journey later in 2025, brother. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and thank you everyone that watched this.